Konnichiwa minasan, Hirito desu, and welcome back to another video. Now guys, today we're going to be talking about something quite interesting, and that is how the Marineford War would have turned out if the current Straw Hats, the ones from the Wano arc, would have showed up at the battlefield, and not just Luffy, but the whole crew. What would have happened and how the war would have turned out. Now, from analyzing everything and from all the stuff like their abilities, the new techniques and everything that they got so far, after analyzing all of this, I came to the conclusion that the Marineford War would have been won by Whitebeard instead of the Marines. And today in this video, I'm going to tell you guys exactly why and do some further analysis on why this would be the new outcome. But before we get into the video, guys, don't hesitate to comment, like, and subscribe, especially subscribe. And if you're new here, then please join the guys that are subscribed to this channel. I promise you won't regret it. Now, into the video. Why would Whitebeard win the war if the current Straw Hats would have shown up? Well, first off, let's go with Luffy. We're going to be analyzing every single Straw Hat, right? And then at the end, I'm going to tell you guys some further information like why I think they would have won. First off, let's go with Luffy, the captain, okay? Now, in the original Marineford War, Luffy could only go up to gear 3rd, right? The first thing, like the main thing that Luffy acquired in the Marineford War, after the Marineford War and currently, is Haki, right? In the Marineford War, he didn't have Haki. He didn't know how to use it. He barely used the Conqueror's Haki once, and that was out of his aspiration and desperation. He never knew that he had Haki, much less Conqueror's Haki. But after the time skip, Luffy now managed to learn armament Haki, observation Haki, and also how to use the Conqueror's Haki to a certain extent. But right now in the Wano arc, also this is spoiler for those that don't read the manga. Right now in the Wano arc, Luffy has also managed to learn advanced armament Haki, advanced observation Haki from Whole Cake Island, and now can also use advanced Conqueror's Haki, which means he can basically attack someone with Conqueror's Haki, not just like standing in place and then just knocking everyone out, but he can also punch someone with Conqueror's Haki. As we've seen, he punched Kaido with Conqueror's Haki and actually damaged Kaido. Even Kaido himself was surprised because he was like, are you telling me that you're on the same level with the legendary pirates as in Whitebeard, Roger, all these other guys? So that was one of the main things. The main thing is Haki. Now Luffy knows Haki, and his attacks are much more powerful now with Haki in them. Secondly, with Haki and combining his gears, he is now mastered, and learned the Gear 4th. And in Gear 4, we know that he has 3 gears. There's Gear 4th Bounce Man, there's Gear 4th Tank Man, and then there's Gear 4th Snake Man. Now, for those that have watched my Naruto versus Luffy analysis video, I mentioned what his gears are and like what exactly they do, okay, and where he managed to learn them. Now, first of all, his Bounceman. Bounceman is basically Gear 3rd. He combined Gear 3rd with Haki, and also it gives him a huge boost in offensive power. That's what Bounceman does, as well as more control over his Haki. But the problem is that it has a drawback. His Gear 4, his Gear 4 has a drawback. Basically, once he reaches his limit, he can use Haki for 10 minutes. Now, besides the huge destructive power that Bounceman has, we're going into Tankman, which basically gives him a huge defense abilities. Like his defensive capabilities of Tankman, he basically acquired Tankman by eating a lot and becoming huge. And then, I forgot to mention, with Bounceman, he can also fly. That's the thing. Then with Snake Man is basically an advanced Gear 2nd, because with Snake Man he can move at such an amazing speed. His speed goes way up there, right? So these are Luffy's main abilities, right? He learned Haki, he learned advanced armament Haki, advanced observation Haki, and advanced Conqueror's Haki. Together with the gears, Luffy is a huge badass. Not to mention that one of the Haki techniques that he learned is not just to punch someone by having armament Haki, but also to destroy someone from the inside. Basically, by punching someone, the attack will affect them from the inside. So it's safe to say that the Luffy right now is a huge badass and would have done so much more in the war. By saying so, basically, I'm not saying that he will be able to defeat admirals, but he will be able to give them a hard time. Like, for example, guys like Kuzan, right? Aokiji at that time, if current Luffy was to fight Aokiji, he would give him a huge tough time. It would be quite difficult for Aokiji to actually take him down. That's just a fact. Because Aokiji's Devil Fruit, right? He basically has a look at Devil Fruit, right? Where he can transform into ice, control ice, or turn his body into ice. Basically ice, you understand? Now, the thing is, you can't affect him without having two things. Either a fire ability or haki. Now, as we know in the war, what's his name? Marco could damage Aokiji. Ace could damage Aokiji. And now Luffy with haki can damage Aokiji. Not just that, but he has one technique, one attack called Red Hawk, right? The Gomu Gomu no Red Hawk, where basically with the help of haki, he can now set his attack, like his punch, on fire. You understand? So basically, he has the ability to use fire to a certain extent. Now, putting Luffy aside, we know that Luffy right now is a huge badass. Putting Luffy aside, now we're going to the next one. The next being Zoro. Now, Zoro at this level right now is... There's a lot of talk on Zoro right now. Mainly because it was shown that Zoro could use Conqueror's Haki to some extent. Now, besides that, he has the Enma Sword. And besides the Enma Sword, which he uses a huge amount of Haki, we have seen that Zoro has such a huge control over his armament Haki and Haki in general, that he can control Enma, which was known that only Odin could control Enma. But Zoro now can control it too. And Enma is a huge add-on to his arsenal, okay? Like to his swords and to his techniques. Now, as we know, Zoro pre-time skip was compared to the Zoro right now in the Wano arc. There's a huge difference, okay? Huge. Zoro right now is on another level. We've seen him damage Kaido. We've seen him attack Big Mom. We've seen him right now in the latest chapter. Spoiler alert, he damaged King. Zoro right now is on a whole other level. So it's safe to say that he too would give like the admirals themselves a tough time. Let's like guys like Fujitora, but Fujitora, okay, sorry, forget Fujitora. Fujitora was not there at that time, but he would give again Aokiji a tough time. Like, you wouldn't be able to, let's say, defeat them, but again, you would give them a tough time. Next up, we got Sanji. Now, a lot of people, everyone likes to compare Zoro with Sanji, okay? Oh, and most people will say Zoro is stronger than Sanji. And I can say too that Zoro, he's at a certain level above Sanji, but the level isn't that high, okay? Sorry, I'm not sweating. I just took my bath. Anyway, Zoro isn't at that such a high level than Sanji. The gap isn't in power level isn't all that different. Okay. Now, the reason why Sanji right now would have a huge advantage in the war as well would be his raid suit. Not just raid suit is one, but now he also has control over Haki. He can do use the skywalk, and he has that amazing technique, which is one of my favorite attacks in One Piece, the Diable Jump, where basically his legs turn, like he himself, not just his legs, can catch fire. You know, he can control fire to a certain extent by the speed and friction of his legs. But the raid suit is a huge onto his arsenal. We've seen that he can turn invisible with the raid suit, he can fly with the raid suit. He has amazing abilities. So he too would be able to give like admirals themselves a tough time. Up next, we've seen Jinbe join the Straw Hats. Of course, Jinbe was already there, but like the Jinbe from back then with the Jinbe from now, it is a whole other, he's a whole other person, because right now Jinbe has gone through a lot of power-ups and training and a lot of stuff between the Marineford War and the Wano arc. I mean, he's been with the Big Mom Pirates and actually fought Big Mom and fought the Big Mom Pirates. He fought alongside Luffy in the Fishman Island arc. He actually trained a lot, and his powers are actually grown compared to the way he was in the war. So it's safe to say that he too will be a huge add-on to the Straw Hats and being able to win the Marineford War. Next up on the list, we have Brook. I say Brook is because Brook is actually a really underrated character, and he's really underestimated by a lot of folks. For example, one of my favorite moments for Brook where he showcased his abilities was in the Fishman Island arc, where he fought that guy that I forgot his name, but he has a huge pride, Anyway, you can see him right here. He fought that guy. Basically, it wasn't even a fight. It was so one-sided. Because basically, Brook ended it all by just walking by him with his new ability, where basically he just slashed it without the guy even knowing. That's something about Brook, that his new abilities, newfound abilities and techniques. Brook is actually super strong. But a lot of foes and a lot of people that watch One Piece really underestimated, and he's a really underrated character, but Brook is strong as hell. So Brook on his own would be a huge add-on to the war, okay? Next up, we got Frankie. And Frankie, as we know it, Frankie is a huge tech guy. The guy has a lot of weapons, he has a lot of tech that he can use in the war. For example, General Frankie, okay? Like, that robot, okay, Nami and Robin make jokes about how the robot was useless, but truthfully, it was a huge add-on to their arsenal. And Frankie on his own is strong as hell, okay? He's super strong. Putting the tech on one side, he himself, like, his abilities are really up there. I mean, for example, that beam, I forgot the name of the beam, but that beam on his own is deadly, okay? So he too will be a huge add-on to the Straw Hats in the war. Next up, I'm gonna go with Chopper, and Chopper is really, I think he's the most underestimated and underrated character in One Piece. Okay, this dude is strong as hell. I really need Oda to do justice to this guy's bounty, okay? Because this guy is strong, and the best place that he showcased his abilities was in two places after the time skip. First was in Fishman Island, where we've seen that now he can transform without using the rubber balls, okay? Not just that, but now he has control over his monster point, and that is a huge advantage for the Straw Hats. Because as we've seen in the Whole Cake Island arc, he actually went toe-to-toe with Big Mom for a certain amount of time, okay? He was able to defend the Straw Hats, as in, you know, who were there at that time. Sanji, Nami, Zoro, Jinbe, right? And Brook. He was able to defend them for a certain amount of time as Big Mom attacked with his monster point. And so, truthfully, well, you know, we've seen in the Marineford war, there are giants there as well, right? Huge people. So, Chopper being there, it'll be a huge advantage for them. Next up, I'm gonna go with Robin. And Robin on her own right now, with the way she is in the manga. I forgot to mention about Chopper again in the manga. Another place that he showcased his abilities is actually that he fought Queen toe-to-toe and actually damaged Queen. Like, we've seen Queen bleed from Chopper's punches, okay? Next up, we go with Robin. And Robin, again, her latest fight, okay, in the one arc in the manga, just showed everyone how strong she actually is. Now she doesn't just grow hands on people or legs. She can make freaking clones. And not just that, this new ability, new technique of hers actually made her name of the, you know, Demon Chow actually mean something, because she literally created another demon of like herself, a form, right? Which was so strong. She managed to defeat one of the top executives of the Beast Pirates. What were they called again? The Tobiropo, right? She managed to defeat one of them, which is a huge feat. You know, the Tobiropo are basically right below King, Queen, and Jack. They're right below them. So Robin actually managed to defeat one on her own. Next up, Nami. Next up, Usopp. Sorry. Usopp is next. And Usopp, again, he might still be kind of cowardish and scared in fights, but he's really reliable right now. And he has a huge arsenal as well. His new attacks actually do damage, okay? He's strong right now. And he doesn't run from fights anymore. He actually faces them head on, okay? For example, I know it's not canon, but in the movie Stampede, he faced Douglas Bullet on his own without fearing that he might die in the next second. He faced Bullet on his own twice. And in the last time, he actually did damage. He helped Luffy defeat Douglas Bullet to some extent. So Usopp again will also be a huge add-on to the war. Next and last but not least, we got Nami. And Nami, she too is a huge overpowered person. Even though she doesn't fight that much, she is overpowered right now. Why I'm saying that she's overpowered? She has freaking Zeus on her side right now. As we know, Zeus was one of Big Mom's spirits, right? whatever. You know, she had her hat, then she has what's his name, the son. I forgot the name of the son, but anyway. But now Zeus, that was on Big Mom's side, is now with Nami, and Nami that can control weather and shit. Now having Zeus is a huge add-on, right? If she's gonna be able to get the sun later on as well, she's gonna be like a mini Big Mom basically, because we've seen Big Mom how she does. She basically fuses with these two. Basically, the sun will take over her head and she's gonna be like full on flame mode, and then Zeus is gonna be under her, which will allow her to fly. Now, if she gets the sun as well, she's gonna be a mini Big Mom. But currently, she just has Zeus, which is still a huge add-on to her. Okay, so these are the Straw Hats right now. Now, besides their abilities, like I said, just as they are right now, they would do a huge amount of damage in the war. Okay, they would cause so much havoc that the Marines would be scared of what they would do. Also, even though they would be there, they would cause the admirals to actually join the fight earlier than when they actually joined in the Marineford War, in the original war, right? But besides this, okay, first of all, the Straw Hats themselves, the current Straw Hats are easily among the top 10 strongest pirate crews in the world right now. Easily. We have the first four, right? Well, the first four being the four emperors. Afterwards, Luffy would easily be among the fifth. Okay, as we know, he is considered the fifth emperor, and I made a video where I told you guys why Luffy is actually an emperor. Okay, why that name actually means something. Why it's not actually just a joke or like you know, just to rile up some people. That actually means something. Luffy is genuinely an emperor right now. He's on emperor level. Maybe not in strength, but in everything else regarding what means to be an emperor, Luffy is an emperor. So by having Luffy join the war alongside Whitebeard, it would basically mean that two emperors are fighting against the Marines, which would literally scare the Marines to death. Okay, they would be terrified. They were already terrified with just Luffy there back then, when his bounty was just at 300 million and he was alone with just a few guys, maybe Jinbe, Crocodile, and all the other guys. But right now, having the whole crew there and being an emperor and having a bounty of 1,500,000,000, where everyone else having bounties on their own, the Marines would be scared shitless. But the main thing that would change the outcome of the war isn't them being there. The main factor that would change the whole outcome of the war. When I said current Straw Hats, I'm talking about where they are at the Wano, right? Basically, everything that happened between the war and the Wano arc will be included as well. And when I say that, think of Dressrosa. Luffy has a grand fleet. And them knowing that Ace is in trouble and that Ace is Luffy's brother, bros, they would show up. So now you don't just have the Straw Hats. You have the Whitebeard pirates. You have the Whitebeard, the Whitebeard fleet. You have the guys that escaped Impel Down. You have the Straw Hats, and then you have the Straw Hats Grand Fleet. And then last but not least, we know that these guys alone will be able to defeat the Marines. Like, they're gone. Okay, bye-bye. But the sugar on top, the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. Why did I say sugar on top? Is the cherry on top would be Sabo. Why did I say that? Because like I said, the events that happened between the Marineford War, the Marineford arc, and the Wano arc will be included, which means that Sabo would have regained his memories by then, right? He regained his memories. So he too will be able to join alongside with other people for sure. I mean, knowing that Luffy's gonna be there, Ace is in trouble, I am sure that Dragon is gonna send some people alongside with Sabo to join the war. So basically, One Piece right now, if the Straw Hats, the current Straw Hats, would have joined the Marineford War, One Piece right now would have been totally different. Meaning, what I'm trying to say is that the Marines would have been wiped out. The Marines would have been gone if the current Straw Hats would have joined the war. That's just it. It's basic facts. Because by having all those guys there, even if we don't have that many Admiral level people on in the war. Of course, we have people that are gonna give them a tough time. I mean, Whitebeard alone would have given everyone a tough time. Whitebeard at that time, if the current Straw Hats would have been there, Whitebeard wouldn't have been injured, wouldn't have been betrayed, or whatever, because they would be scared to even get close to the Whitebeard ship, right? Everything would have been turned out differently. Even the cage that was set up or whatever when those walls came out, right, to trap the pirates in, and they started shooting up, bros. Zoro on his own would have cut that shit open. He would have cut everything out alone. Okay, I know Dracula Mihawk would have been there, but as Mihawk said, when Shanks showed up, he was there to fight Whitebeard, his contract, and he was hired to fight Whitebeard. There was no place stated in his contract that, oh, now he has to fight another emperor, he has to fight Shanks. So basically, Mihawk on his own wouldn't give two shits if these guys would have been there, because his aim was to fight Whitebeard and the Whitebeard pirates. That's what was stated. Doflamingo would have been wiped out with all the other Shibukai. Hancock, where Hancock would see that the Marines are being pushed back, generally Hancock would join the Whitebeard pirates, and again she would be a huge add-on, right? That's another thing. So basically, the guys that would help in defeating the admirals together with Sengoku and maybe Garp. I'm sure that Garp wouldn't be able to do anything, because as we've seen, Garp didn't do anything against Luffy. Luffy wouldn't. So we saw that Luffy knocked him out. That was then was just like gear second. But right now, if he should like gear fourth Garp, he would do some damage. He would do some damage, or even not gear 4, just like Advanced Conqueror's Haki. He would do some damage to Garp. Garp would actually sleep for a while. No cap, that would actually happen. But when it comes to the other guys, Sengoku and all these guys, I mean, you got Whitebeard, okay? We got Sabo. And when I say current Sabo again, current Sabo actually has Ace's powers. So, for the benefit of the doubt, let's say that he still has the powers, okay? So we got Sabo, okay? We got the other commanders of the Revolutionary Army, right? We got Luffy. We got Zoro. We got Sanji. We got Jinbe. We got who do we have again? The commanders of the Whitebeard pirates. We got Marco, for crying out loud. We got the commanders of the Straw Hat fleet. Yo, the admirals would be clapped if you put these guys against them. They would be clapped. Everyone else besides the admirals, even the vice admirals at that time, they would be clapped easily. You just need like the rest of the Straw Hats to clap them, because they're gone, okay? For example, Smoker. Smoker from that time compared to Smoker right now, he's nyeh, okay? He did nothing. So, like I said, from this analysis, you guys can easily see that the war would be totally different if the current Straw Hats would be there. The Marines would be gone. The world government, done. Because there wouldn't be anyone else. Like, One Piece would end right there. Seriously, One Piece would end right there. The whole story of One Piece would have been different, because as we know, Shanks would have was coming to the war. Shanks would be there, meet with Luffy and these guys. Shanks would tell them exactly what happened. Oh, that he was fighting Kaido. They would catch up to Kaido, okay? Luffy could easily catch up to Kaido, maybe with everyone else. Beat Kaido. Blackbeard was there as well. They would beat up Blackbeard. I mean, Blackbeard would die in that battle. Kaido would lose as well. So then the remaining emperors would be Luffy, Whitebeard, Shanks, and Big Mom. Okay? With that all said and done, Luffy would then set out to find the rest of the poneglyphs. Dressrosa arc wouldn't happen and whatever. Like, everyone in Dressrosa would be rejoicing that the Flamingo is taken down and whatever. Basically, One Piece would have taken a whole different route if the current Straw Hats would have been there. So guys, oh, and Whitebeard would have been alive alongside Ace. Yeah. So guys, yeah, that's the analysis. The war would have been won by Whitebeard and the rest if the current Straw Hats would have been there. If you guys have something else to say, then make sure you can say in the comment down below. Just comment down below with anything you want to say. But from this analysis, you can easily see why the current Straw Hats would help win the war if they would show up. So that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't hesitate to comment, like, and subscribe. I've been Kirito, and I will see you all in the next video. Jane!